Shalom, shalom to everyone watching. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero with the Ways of Israel. We are continuing with our study with the Letters for the Ages by Rabbi Nachman or Nachmanides, and we're now on chapter 17, and we're going to take a look at chapter 17, which is humility, the mark of true scholarship. If he takes pride in wisdom, let him understand that God may remove the speech of the most competent and take it away from the wisdom of the age. Job chapter 12 verse 20. Humility is in fact the mark of scholarship. The Talmud in Shabbat 152a teaches, as Torah scholar age, their wisdom increases. As ignorant men grow old, their ignorance increases. As it says, he removes the speech of the most competent and take away the wisdom of the age. In alluding to this Talmudic passage, the Ramban implies that the haughty person who prides himself as a Torah scholar entertains a distorted perception of the Torah. Genuine Torah scholarship makes one humble, not proud. When one studies properly, the more he learns, the more he is overwhelmed by how little he really knows. Thus, the one who grows haughty from his study attests to the superficiality of his knowledge. It's a product of nature. Intelligent thought is man's supreme faculty. Yet, although wisdom is laudable, it may at the same time provoke feelings of self-importance. And the Mesilat Yesharim warns us in chapter 22, first of all, even the finest mind is imperfect and prone to errors. So everyone can make a mistake, as it were, even the most scholarly. Even the most accomplished sage makes mistakes. Secondly, a person really deserves little credit for his genius. The man who knows more than others merely follows the dictates of his nature, and is no different than the bird whose nature is to flap its wings and fly. One is wise only because his nature has led him to be so. There is no room for pride in respect to wisdom. Rather, if one acquired knowledge, he is duty-bound to share it with others who are in need of it. As Ramban Yochanan ben Zakkai states in Mishnah Avot chapter 2 verse 9, if you have learned much Torah, do not take credit for yourself, for it was for this purpose you were created. When the righteous men of Semenuia implored Rabbi Yehuda the prince to send one of his choice disciples to be their Rav, Rabbi Yehuda recommended Rabbi Levi bar Sisa, known in Talmud simply as Levi, profound scholar and a brilliant orator. When the news of Rav arrived in Simunia, the people showered him with honor and placed him on a platform from which he would deliver his first Torah discourse. However, when Rabbi Levi opened his mouth to speak, no words came forth. His mind registered blank. I'm laughing mainly because this has happened as well with me. The people attempted to break the agonizing silence by asking him questions, but the new rabbi did not respond. Humiliated, Rabbi Levi descended to the Das and returned to Rabbi Yehuda. When he completed his journey home, his brilliance and wisdom returned. So what happened in Simunia? Asked Rabbi Yehuda the prince. Rabbi Levi replied, I now realize that when I stood on the platform, I felt a surge of pride in my heart, and that erased all the Torah from my mind. Rabbi Yehuda explained, you experience a vivid proof of the verse that says in Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 32, if you were utterly degraded, it is because you were lifted too high. Yakut Shemoni, Mishle, number 964. The elegance of humility. A certain Jewish tailor living in Pishka was commissioned by the local square, the Peretz, to create a cloak from a bolt of expensive fabric he purchased in Paris. The nobleman warned the sailor to take pains so to create a masterpiece. The tailor laughed and protested, Sire, why do you say such a thing? I not known to be the most expert tailor in the entire province? When the tailor presented the finished garment to the Peretz, The upperclassman was dissatisfied. Squire abused the tailor, claiming he had ruined the precious fabric, and threw him out of his home. In desperation, the tailor sought out counsel of Reb Yerachmiel, the son of Yid HaKodesh of Peshicha. The sage advised, undo all the stitches in the garment and sew it back together in exactly the same pattern as before. Then he bring the cloak back to the Paris. The tailor did so, and brought the reconstituted garment back to the squire, for whom he sewed it. To the tailor's surprise, the squire exclaimed his delight with finished product. He sang tailor's praises and added a bonus to his fee. Mystified by this turn of events, the tailor returned to the tzaddik gently, Rabbi Yerachmiel, and explained, originally when you showed me your handiwork, I could tell that when you first made the cloak, you made it out of arrogance, and arrogance has no grace. That's why the parents rejected your work. But this very rebuff made you humble and broken-hearted. That's why I told you to undo the arrogant stitches and to sew cloak anew in humility. And thus the cloak acquired grace and elegance, and your prestige grew in the eyes of the parents. You know, these stories really come to life when you understand that sometimes you'll find yourself where somebody else humbles you or humiliates you in front of the public, which is an avera, but nevertheless it's only intended for your good, because you need to bring down your pride. So take it all for good, that perhaps Hashem is showing you that you need to deflate your ego and come back down to earth, where you can be humble and go back into learning the Torah the proper way. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero with the Ways of Israel. And may God accompany and be with those who are humble, those who have been humbled, those who have been humiliated, those who lift their eyes unto the Lord. May God rescue them and be their Savior. And those that are in the IDF, may God protect them and keep them and be successful in rooting out all evil from the land. Shalom, shalom.